Boarding the call. Hey.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Good. How you doing? Let me adjust my chair. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Not bad. How's the weather where you are in Valley?
It's raining like a motherfucker. There's just rain everywhere. It's like London.
Yeah. Back and forth here. It gets sunny, and as soon as you step out, it pisses on you, and you run in, and it gets sunny, and you run out, it pisses. It's like it really happens every 15, 20 minutes. So it's kind of weather.
Yeah. The New Zealand weather.
The New Zealand weather.
Is that your beautiful studio?
In my studio. Yeah, New Zealand studio. Just messing around with some stuff. It's been a really productive month, which is great. Because I worked on archives, like ideas that I had on my phone, just little cinematic ideas on the piano or acoustic guitar or vocal idea, anything. I recorded everything and then made them into these grand pieces and got almost a whole hour of music. Anyway, but that's not.
Shit. Like you actually did.
Shit. I had to, man. I was going insane. You can only play it.
I was juggling two twins and playing my Switch. I was playing video games.
I don't expect you've had much time, but knowing you and Chantel, you probably did create some shit.
Yeah, we definitely kept up on some stuff, and but nothing like people are like, oh, I'm gonna write that novel I had floating around. Like none of that. I didn't get any of that stuff. You're lucky you got to do it, because I have tons of like dictaphone things and everything on my phone that I just probably.
This is the time, bro. This is the time.
At least put them into a folder. Like this is a Mindless record. This is a side project. This is a soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Start separating. I started thinking about that today too, because there were a few songs that I've done as well, and I'm like, wait a minute, this fit into this other category of this weird kind of electro EP thing that I wanted to do after this, rock EP that I'm going to do this year. So yeah, I get totally, you start kind of planning stuff, and this is the time. When are you going to have time to go through your iPhone voice memos and kind of record that shit?
The whole world's on a break. It feels like that, like the weekend of like Thanksgiving, except nobody's allowed to go outside, but everybody's off. Like everybody, you don't have to call a lawyer, an accountant, a friend. Like no one's doing anything. Yeah. You can call everybody home. I like that. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
When you Skype people, you're like, I know you're home, motherfucker. I know you're home.
I know you're home. You better answer my call properly in time. So I guess we're doing a Fuctronic call. So let's talk about Fuctronic. So I remember, and I'm sure you remember, that time we were having sushi in Studio City in LA, and we were sitting and having sake and some sushi. Both of us just going off on Guy Ritchie films and all these other British gangster films, Gangster Number One, Sexy Beast, and Rock and Roller, and just like quoting lines and laughing out loud because it's so over the top, and it made both of us happy in a really idiotic kind of way. And then what happened?
But I remember that we were talking about, I don't know why, because it was electronic. It was, you were like, let's do electronic record. It was kind of the initial genesis was like, we should do an electronic record together. And then it was like, all right, cool, yeah. So we started working on electronic stuff, and then obviously it blossomed into this thing. And somewhere, I forgot, I don't know if it was there or we were in the car, if it was the same night, but it was a bunch of us, and we talked about naming it Fuctronic just as a sort of a funny thing, like, you should call it Fuctronic, ha ha ha. And then everybody was kind of like, that actually sounds really good. Like that rolls off the tongue. Like it's pretty funny and on brand and everything. And we were like, yeah. And it kind of stuck. We were like, wow, I don't know if we can actually name it that. Like, but that was like, a million years ago. So now you can name anything and just put it up on like, the internet. Nobody cares. Everybody's like, can call it the most fucked up thing in the world. And everybody's like, great. I'll just download that.
Great. What a great children's book.
yeah, totally. So yeah, I remember that. I always like that. That was just sort of like, oh, I'll just do this. And then I was like,
And the kind of ideas of, hey, I think it was your idea that you're really, as soon as we started talking about an electronic record, and then it leaping from our conversation about British gangster film genre, I think you were like, dude, we've got so many friends that do voiceovers. This could be a really cool thing. We'll not only have the music, but we'll have voiceover friends kind of just doing different characters. And then it got really exciting, because it's one thing to say, hey, let's make an electronic record together. That's fun enough. But when you go, hey, let's get all these other friends involved and do whacked out fucking, them actually speaking parts over the music, and it being like a soundtrack to a film,
and it's almost like we wrote it. It's almost like backwards, because like we wrote all this music first, and then we came up with the idea of having sound bites, and then we were like, well, we're not going to sample from these movies, so why don't we just make up our own, from scratch kind of thing. And then, I know this guy, and like, I know, Chantal can do this thing, and this other person. We can bring these actors in, and now we need like scripts. So like, let's think of some fucking scenes from movies, and there's always a scene with a chase, and a scene with a bank robbery, and a scene where this fucks up and that fucks up. And so and just kind of like
you did a fantastic
script stuff.
You did a fantastic job writing the script. Actually, I'm quite impressed, because it's not easy to get into that world and kind of think in that way and use some of the you're a mug kind of the wording and everything. So it's
because I just sort of did it weirdly in my very spare time. Like every time I was like, I gotta go to like Costco or I gotta drive all the way downtown, I would just turn on my dictaphone and just start fucking just quoting lines and talking to myself like, "Right, you motherfucker, you mangy cunt, why are you coming here? You go back," and do these, just talk to myself like that for like hours. I'm stuck in traffic, like, "What are you looking at?"
Hours? Fuck.
And then I would just go back and listen to it and be like, "All right, that works, and this doesn't work, and I can piece these two together and make a full scene, and now I can and now I'll write more to it." And it kind of was a good like starter for kind of putting it out. And then the even weirder thing was when we finished mixing and recording and putting it all together, going like, all right, maybe we can make this into something slightly bigger, like not just throw it out on on a CD. And we had to kind of piece the songs together, and I had to write like a whole plot. That was fucking weird. That's when I was like, oh Jesus Christ, I got to sit down and
why did I get myself into this?
I was like, because before they were kind of ambiguous. They didn't really have a connection. It was like, here's a bank robbery, and here's this thing, and now maybe this same character's over here, but it doesn't matter. And then all of a sudden it was like, all right, now it matters. You have to like, okay, song number 1 has to go into song number 11, and then 11 goes into 5, and how do these piece together? What happens in the plot? What the hell is the plot? So having to come up with all of that was really cool. Like that was fun to kind of sit down and be like, I'm writing a script for a movie that doesn't even exist. It
was pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Yeah. And then I remember getting into this, we both basically brought forth tracks that we thought would work for it. I remember the car chase theme and all these songs that you brought, and I brought a bunch of stuff. And then we're like, okay, let's get actor friends to work on it. So you had Chantal working on it at your studio, and Shanti's brother worked on it, and a bunch of other people that you sent it to. And then we got George to come into my studio. And I've got footage of that shit of us just laughing and going.
I was wondering about that. Yeah, because I have the recordings, and obviously of George's takes. And if you look at the raw recordings, it just goes, it's like an hour's worth of us like laughing and talking about stuff, and him doing like German accents and like all this stuff, like having fun with it. So it's all this stuff, and I was like, that's cool that we kind of have this, that it's all audio, but that's cool, it's video. That's awesome.
We should dig it up. We should have George dig it up. That'll be cool.
I'll find that. I got the audio for sure.
Yeah. No, I know. But we definitely do have the video as well. And I just remember laughing, going, what the fuck are we doing? This is like one of the funnest things I've ever done in the studio, And so, and I love our notes. Like George would be saying one of the lines, whatever it was, come here, you mangy cunt, or whatever like that. And you're like, could you say it with a more, kind of, can you get more upset? Like, it's just,
you hit the accent on the cunt a little more. Just
more cunt, less whingy. So it was fun, man. And fuck, we did this like, dude, we started this in 2011, I think. I want to say
it was somewhere around there. Yeah, I want to say it was around 2011 was when you were at the initial idea where you were like, hey, we should do a thing. Definitely way back. It was fucking.
We had it done in the box by 2010, 2012. I remember.
Yeah, it only took us about a year.
And then obviously Yeah.
It was, and then it was, the rest of it was just like, well, maybe it'll go here, maybe it'll go there, and you kept finding like, oh, I got this, there's this guy, he's a friend of mine, he's got a company, we'll try this, and I'm like, oh, maybe this guy does video games, maybe it'll be this, you know, it can be this bigger, this more interesting thing. And then what was it like? Maybe was it 4 years ago ish that we came across Shadow Machine? Really,
right?
Was when that whole thing started, and the kind of animation aspect of it, and we were like, oh, that could be
this
something.
could be really cool. Yeah. So we did a really cool trailer with Shadow Machine, and Sony was on board, and we were we had a lot of ideas for it, and I think now that we're actually releasing Fuctronic, I think it's more likely that we'll make it into some type of animated feature or something else down the line. But we were trying to find the right partners to do something interesting besides audio with, on a video scale. And so we got what we got, and I'm happy we're doing this now. Honestly.
Yeah, no, Jesus Christ, finally, I really want to see that the vinyl. I want to get I had George send us tell him to send us a couple of copies, because I want to just like pull it out and just touch it.
You want to touch it. Well,
everything, we're living in a world where everything got postponed because of the virus. So, record store day, I was really excited. I was like, oh, cool. People are going to go to record store day. The art looks great.
Right.
There's so much great art from it, because, you have, like, I don't know if a lot of people know that the main sort of designer of the animation was Mike Smith, who did, Natural Born Killers animation and all this classic, animation, a couple of like bit things that used to be like little tags that used to be on MTV all the time that were really, really cool and stuff. And so, I know the guy's stuff, and it's great. And so that was really like kind of cool. It's like, oh shit, this is that dude. Like, that's pretty cool. And he did a really good job of like envisioning kind of what the characters looked like and get into the the characters, because it was kind of, we would go through a couple people and they had some kind of nice ideas and they were basically good, but it just was missing that kind of like real, I don't know, cartoony, but adult animation feel. So it was really cool that those guys kind of like put that whole thing together, and then now it looks great. I love the way it looks.
Yeah.
And so all that art was just really just right for the picking for the for the vinyl. It was just so much vinyl, so many characters and angles and everything like that. I want to see
absolutely. That shit. Yeah. I can't wait for people to hear it, because it's just so like, it's nothing like neither of. I mean, it's more. I guess certain parts are more dancey and closer to stuff that you've done before, but it's nothing like anything I've ever done before.
It's a little bit. I mean, only because of that one record I put out that was basically a soundtrack compilation of stuff I'd done for soundtracks. But yeah, it doesn't really sound like anything Mindless or anything System or anything Serj or anything Jimmy. It's very its own thing, and it's hard to explain it to people, because they immediately, like, I was doing a Q&A in it, and a lot of people were like, well, what's it like? And I was like, like, how would you describe it? And I'm like, in 3 words. I'm like, fake English gangster film, or like cinematic like soundtrack, like what? Because I think they expect, you're in a crazy, over the top band. I'm in a crazy over the top band. Like, we're gonna get together and it's gonna be crazy over the top. But it's like, but that's our day job. So like, usually when I do other projects that aren't, you know what I mean? All my other projects, like, you have stuff that's like jazz or world music or, a little bit of rock, and then when you go to your day job, it's like, you know what I mean? It's the same thing with me. It's like when I do the side projects, it's like something's goofy or cinematic, and then when I go to do Mindless, it's like, it's crazy you can get. So but I think it's funny because people just expect, when we get together, it's going to be double that.
double the energy or whatever. Yeah, double the grid.
You lay back with a Feijoa soda.
Can you say Feijoa? You just did an Instagram Ask Me Anything. What were your favorite tough questions?
The best tough question actually that I got out of that whole thing, because a lot of it was sort of like, how was it like working? How was it like working with Serj? What was your favorite characters from the thing that you did? Can you explain it to me? Like all these kind of basic overview ones. But the one that I liked the best was somebody asked, what UK gangster time period does this exist in? And I was like, that's a fucking good question.
That's a great question.
You could have that 60s kind of like the craze type of thing. You could have that 70s, 80s Long Good Friday type of thing. You could have that sort of 90s Essex Boy kind of thing. On and on and on. I personally, for me, I always envisioned it in that kind of 90s era of stuff, like a lot of the early Guy Ritchie's and stuff like that. I'm not sure what you envisioned the whole time you were making it, but for me, it was always
that's kind of how I saw it as well.
Rise of the Foot Soldier, type era, And even though those
I saw it in the same era.
Yeah, and even though a lot of those
type
movies were made in the early 2000s, a lot of the references are supposed to be 90s and things like that. So. Yeah, so that was the best question. I was like, well, that person's paying attention.
I love when people are getting serious on this shit, We're like, we're laughing the whole time. And the questions are serious. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Good, because it shows that they're, keeps you on your toes, because you're used to like, there's a puff thing, and here's the thing, and like, yeah, I love doing this, and that was cool, and yada, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden someone hits you with a zinger, and I'm like, oh, shit, I got to think about that one. That's a good question.
Yeah. Did they ask what city is it supposed to be in the UK?
Somebody did mention, because I think we mentioned Manchester in it once or twice.
That's right.
Somebody was like, "What does it take place in Manchester? Like, why does it take place in Manchester?" And I was kind of like, "I'm not sure about that. I think it might have just, not accidentally, but sort of. I've been to Manchester tons of times. Like on tour, I think I've hit Manchester the most out of all the English ones, and we end up. That was always in the first place that we hit. So we're there for a couple days off before we even start the tour. So I've always just walked all over the place in Manchester, like wake up, roll out of the bus, like hungover, like, all right, let's just walk and just never, don't get back to the bus until midnight. So I really like Manchester. So for some reason, Manchester's probably just on my mind, and I probably wrote it in.
It is a proper gangster city too.
Yeah,
so is Birmingham.
Sure.
So is Birmingham, and yeah, so. I've seen some stories, but yeah, so I think it applies. It works.
Yeah,
but it is a beautiful city. I enjoyed it as well.
Yeah. Because people were asking about the city, like, does it appear in this or what city or blah blah. But I guess because I wrote the Manchester thing, they were like, oh yeah, it's Manchester. Why is it Manchester? I was like, yeah, that's right, I did that. Didn't I? It's been that's the thing too. It's been so long we've been working on it. It's not like we would work on it and then we kind of go away from it for 6 months, and something would come up like, oh, maybe we're going to turn this into this, or like, oh, maybe we can remix it because we're going to do this with it. So it pops up every 6 months, but this last 6 months is the most I've focused on it, since when we first started making it, where I'm like going back, checking tracks, making sure they're mixed right, all that kind of stuff, listening to the record in its entirety, like really focusing on the art, the vinyl, like the whole 9 yards. So now it's kind of like it's like revisiting it. It's really weird because we wrote it back in 11 and 2012, 2011. So it really feels like it's like for us this record's from almost 10 fucking years ago.
Totally. I remember when we total retro thing. I remember when we were working on it. I was working on Orca, which I released in 2012, and also Jesus Christ, and also Harakiri, my last solo rock record. So I had 4 of these records working at the same time, 4 crazy different genres, and yet each one inspired the other, influenced the other. And with Fuctronic, I was just the most fun. I think it's the most I've ever laughed making any record. I think that's and that is a high quality kind of milestone to reach in one's life,
No, I mean, laughter is definitely an emotion. I always found that so weird that people are so if art has emotion and makes you cry, then it's true art. But if art makes you laugh, it's not art, it's comedy. Isn't comedy art? And you know what I mean? Like laughter is another emotion. I'm like, it should be part of what the whole package. I like the whole package. Oh, also, I like that behind you is a picture of you.
Oh, that's Harakiri. That's from thing at the sun is this way, so I'm having to sit this way.
Yeah.
But yeah. Nice. Oh yeah, that's Can't Stop Good Boy. Yeah, he did that for Harakiri, and I have the actual wooden piece for it.
Yeah, he's good. I like his
but
stuff.
Not as interesting as this. It's not as interesting as this.
Is that him too?
That's crazy. Well? No, that's not him. That I forgot the name of the artist. But really I got it from. I was at a radio station in where the hell was I? Was it Chicago? I forget. And they had a bunch of this guy's art. One of the DJs was a huge fan, and I loved that piece. And he gave it to me, and I'm like, I can't take this. And he kind of insisted, and so I brought it here. And a
beautiful piece.
I love that. It is a beautiful piece. Yeah.
Here's the picture of me. This is a nice picture of me here as Steve Martin.
That looks Oh, beautiful. Yeah, it looks like you. Yeah,
And
I'll buy
the
that.
thing what I like about my studio here is you have all my crap up here, right? And then, but also my studio, it doubles as my closet, which is really nice. I don't need to deaden the sound in here. I can just sing right into the t-shirts like.
Nor
Like,
nor do you have to get out of the closet.
no, yeah, that's right. Perfect. And
That's rad, dude.
I need to get some of your coffee to put in my Mindless coffee cup.
I wish I brought more. I brought like when I was packing for New Zealand, when I was packing Kaba coffee for New Zealand, I had not forethought of COVID-19. I would have brought more.
Nobody had any. Yeah.
No, it's a joke.
Are you running
but
out?
yeah, I have when you have to say it's a joke, it's not a joke. But yeah, so but we brought like these giant bags. So we just Angie and I go through coffee like crazy. But yeah, so I'll get you some. I will get you some. Yeah. Yeah, what else? Fuctronic, mate.
Fuctronic, mate. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I mean, like, I'm excited. It comes out right around the corner, right? Isn't it a couple days away? It's like May 8th or something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
For the digital, which is the future world, and then at some point vinyl, depending on the virus, really. I think.
Yeah. We're still gonna put that out.
They're supposed to be doing records per day. I don't know what at some point in the fall, I think. But I guess we'll see. In worst case scenario, maybe we'll just do direct or something like that. We'll just talk to the company and see what we can do. But yeah, I mean, we can always
get the vinyl if they don't do it. We can always get the vinyl that we've made and ship it out ourselves. That kind of a thing.
And then of course everybody was another bunch of questions that I had yesterday was CDs, where I was like, CDs are just done.
What's that?
They're done. I love. I mean, believe me, I love CDs, and the last bunch of records I made like CDs like folded out, and I mean like that. Just you can put a lot in it. But it is literally done until it's retro again. Like you gotta wait like another 10, 15 years until people start making
it. I agree.
Like they make cassettes now. Like now people are making cassettes again because it's like it's like an action figure. But but a lot of people were asking about CDs, and I was just like, I'm not making CDs for this thing. It's just no point.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. But it might be like you said, retro. Come back.
I'm sure everything comes back. I mean, the old video games, like the cartridges and stuff like that, people still collect those, and it becomes some weird like collector item thing. And I think that's cool. I mean, I made a ton of fucking cool looking CDs, and I still like I have boxes of them in storage, and I still am holding on to them for when they become retro again.
That's cool.
Brush that stuff up.
I've gotten rid of a lot of mine, but yeah. They just take up a lot of space. But yeah, obviously, I like having high quality mixes to listen to. But yeah, we could always put it out as high quality downloads as well. I mean, that's always an option if people are interested. We'll see what people are into. We'll go with that.
Everybody streams.
Yeah, totally.
So what else? Bro? Anything else?
Not much.
Just chilling.
Just chilling.
Both chilling in New Zealand. You're more, towards the top, and I'm more towards the bottom.
We're covering both islands. Yeah. No, it turned out kind of cool that we're releasing a record together that we made 10 years ago, and we're in the same country at the same time. Yeah. And not ones that we're from.
No, that's fucking crazy. Super crazy.
It's pretty interesting. Yeah, absolutely. And so when are you? Well, we'll talk about that another time as far as our travel plans and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. Cool, man.
Whenever this virus goes, although I gotta give it to New Zealand, they may have actually crushed that fucking shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, 0 infections overnight for the first time, and even yesterday was only 2 infections recorded, amazing. And they've done a phenomenal job. Yeah.
It's crazy. Well,
yeah.
Else can get on board. All the other countries would be nice.
Would be, yeah. It's kind of crazy, I mean, it's just true leadership, good leadership makes a big difference in fighting a fucking pandemic. That's what this shows, And
also, a female prime minister helps too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Christ, how hard is that?
Yeah. Nice cup. It was nice having Shanti on this too. She was awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and she does
some amazing accents.
She's like a little Swiss Army knife. Like I have her on almost every record since I met her. sometimes it's in some capacity, whether she's sort of like giving me, you know, at the very least, she's giving me arrangement tips, or, you know, listening to something being like, I don't know, man, like that bridge is better than the chorus. I think if I was you, I'd switch it. And I'm like, God damn it, you're right. I got to go back in the studio. Or, you know,
make me work harder.
Yeah. Or she's helping me write. You know, she's written some of this, you know, she's done some half writing on some of the songs, you know, on some Mindless stuff and everything. And even just like anytime I need like, you know, like, oh, I got an idea for a girl voice here, or like, you know, or a sample replacement, you know, here. I'll just, you know, hey, you do anything before we eat dinner? And she'll be like, nope, and she'll just like knock it out. So she was great on this too. I love having her on everything. It's just, she's so easy.
That's awesome.
To bang stuff out. I'm just like, you know, sing it, do it.
Yeah. Oh, she's pro. She's so good. Yeah. Good attitude too, and yeah, the Frenchie thing's awesome.
Yeah. And George is amazing, man.
George is amazing. Yeah, George killed it.
So good. So
yeah.
I love that we just kept it as George, like George is George, like the guy who did it.
Yeah, it kind of made sense.
George,
kind of made sense.
Great, I love it.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it being out and sending him the link and going, it's finally out. Check it out.
Finally out. Check it. Yeah. That's gonna be great. Yeah. No, it was it was a really good project, and it was a great bunch of people to work with. It's a little ensemble, like.
Yeah.
It's like a radio play. You know, like an old.
Yeah. Could be cool. We'll do something like that again. Let's see where this takes us, and maybe we'll do it with an actual film next time.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll write, record, and produce the film and the soundtrack. How's that?
That seems good. That's like what's his name? Is it Nick Cave who did? Where he did like the Premonition or something like that. Like he was like, oh, I'll write this movie, and then he was like, oh, I'm gonna do the soundtrack. And then he did such a great job on the soundtrack that he ended up getting him and whoever his partner is. They ended up doing like all these sounds afterwards. Yeah. Like the to Jesse James or something. They're very cool because they use a lot of sampling with their stuff. So it would be like these weird loops and stuff. And I was like, this is fucking dope. Who did this? And then I'm like, wait, Nick Cave. And then, you know, very cool stuff. But yeah.
Have you seen was it called 20,000 Days or 20,000 Hours? What was it called? Yeah, a movie. Really great film. If you haven't seen it, see it.
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah. Really cool, process, and it's shot really, really well as well. Very, very interesting. That guy's really creative. But yeah, no, it would be fun. Would be fun to do another one.
Congratulations on the on the documentary, the Armenian documentary.
I'm Not Alone. Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Holy moly, that thing was like trekking. That's crazy.
Yeah, we've been getting. I mean, we were signed up for another probably 20, 30 film festivals this year that all obviously canceled.
Yeah.
So, but we've got a bunch of awards from pretty much every film festival it's played at has gotten an audience award and stuff like that. It's a really incredibly rated film. So we're looking forward to releasing that sometime. We were going to be doing theatrical starting in the States in mid-April, and obviously that fell through. So we're looking to see when it all opens up again, and obviously everyone's looking at that and thinking, okay, when are we going to be able to do theatrical again? Might not be until next year at this point, from what I'm starting to gather. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out how to get it out there for people. But I think it is a really powerful movie, and thank you. Thanks for mentioning.
Yeah. No, it's super cool. Yeah, I love all that stuff. That's good.
Cool, brother.
All right.
Right on. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's great to see you too, man. And I'm hopefully
maybe when it opens up, we'll get to see each other.
Yeah. We'll hang out. Either you guys come down here, we'll go up there, or you go left, I'll go right, whatever, we'll find. We'll meet in the middle.
We'll meet in Rotorua.
Get a massage and a spa.
There you go.
All right,
cool,
man.
brother.
I'll talk to you later. All right, man. Be good.
Sounds good. All right. Bye-bye.